Hello everybody, hope you're doing okay. Welcome to Grayswood in Surrey, just on the edge of the Hampshire border. And I've come here today because I've got a few more streets to do around here, but also I've got the Endorphin Speed 2 RUNSHIELD edition. These are the edition I've got now to 300 miles. I only got these in November. These are the ones I did my 35 mile, 55k birthday run in November. If you might have seen the video, I'll link it up below. But I kind of feel now that these have had their day. Now, if you actually look at the outsole of them in a minute, you can see that they look perfectly fine. But on foot, they just feel like the cushioning's going a bit of compression at the front, and I can sort of feel my toes a bit, and I just felt that I wanted to get a different pair. So radically, for a shoe tuber, I actually decided to buy another pair. So here are the new pair on my feet with the old pair here. You can tell the difference, can't you, between the fact that one's got rather muddy and this one is literally, I've just literally put these on. So full disclosure, I've never actually been given a shoe for any of these reviews. I always buy them myself. I got these, the original ones, direct from the Saucony website at full price, and I managed to find a little 10% discount from Start Fitness to get the new version, but again, pretty much full price. So I think it's the first time I've actually bought the same shoe in the same colorway for some years. I mean, obviously I used to do that all the time before I started becoming a bit of a shoe geek and buy a load of shoes. So my record number of pairs of the same shoe was a New Balance 850 back in the day, which I had 13 pairs of, and I used to get numerous pairs of shoes like the Adidas Boston before they sort of brought out the 10, and in the days where I could actually sort of feel I could fit into them. So let's have a look at the outsole of the back of this one, just to sort of see what I mean. I'll show you the sort of compression with the new one, and I'll put a new one on with one of the old ones and just see how it feels on foot, because instantly just standing up here, it just feels so much more cushion. So I think it's something to be aware of, that if you look at a shoe and think, well, don't just look at the outsole to see how much the wear is. If you like a shoe, what I always like to do is to buy a second pair like this and then sort of rotate them around for a bit, and then you really can tell whether your old pair have had their day and you need to basically retire them. So if we look at the outsole of my old pairs of shoes here at 300 miles, they look perfectly fine. The only sort of wear that I can sort of see is where I normally see the most amount of wear, is kind of under the toes here, but even then it's not too bad. I mean, most of these little chevrons are still largely intact, and there's no great problems at all there. If I look at the other one, and it's very similar. If I flip them over, other than the fact that they're just a bit dirty, there's no problems there at all. Down the side, you can't see any sort of problems. All looks sort of perfectly good to me. But what I did find is that underneath the toes here, I could start to sort of feel this plastic plate a bit more, and you can see there that there's quite a lot of compression going on there. So what I'll do is I'll get the other one off and see how that compares. So here's the new one, and to me, I don't know whether I'm just imagining that, but just imagining there's a bit more sort of cushioning there. It's sort of harder to compress it there at the front. Whereas if I do it here, I can always sort of touch those together. Can you see that? So when I put these on foot, I hope you'll notice that. Okay, so now I've got an old one on the left foot and a new one on the right. I'm going to go for my first little run in the new one, well, half the new ones anyway. So here we go. It's a bit hilly around here, so I found a little flat bit to test them out, but yeah, instantly I can sort of feel on the left foot, I can just walking along, I can sort of feel the toes more on the big toes and stuff like that. To this point, you hope that somebody doesn't go off with the other pair of shoes. I left two on the bench over there. I'm going to go farther. I've only run 100 yards just up the road, and already can notice a noticeable difference in cushioning between the left and the right one. That's the thing with the old shoes, they kind of start to feel like slippers, and they're sort of moulded to your foot, and you have to be careful that you don't sort of confuse that with actually lack of cushioning. I mean, these 300 mile pairs are okay. I think I could probably use them for a lot longer, but it's a case of, well, would you really want to? So I've got a bit of a niggle in my quad at the moment, so I'm thinking, well, I don't really want to wear a pair of shoes that might make it any worse. So yeah, just something to be aware of. Right, I think that little test kind of does rather prove that I'm certainly nice to have some new shoes, and new shoe day is always good, isn't it? Even if it's the exact same pair you've got already. That's kind of a testament to how much I like these. I think probably put these down as my favourite shoes for 2021, and this version especially, because the RUNSHIELD version is pretty much waterproof, I'd say. I mean, if you went through this pond you're obviously going to get wet because the water's going to go above your sock line and straight into the shoe. But just for the odd splash on puddle and stuff like that in the winter, they're great. And the big bonus is that they actually feel exactly like the normal road edition, but they're even just fractionally lighter. So incredible for a weatherized shoe to actually make it lighter than the standard road shoe. That's almost unheard of, I think, in shoes that I've ever come across. Anyway, so I hope you enjoy this little look at the new edition of the RUNSHIELD. Is this the shoe that you've got? Do you like it? I certainly would recommend this one, or one of the standard speed editions if you're in a more sort of drier area. Right, so I'm going to go off a run now before it gets dark, and we'll see you on the next one. Hope you found this interesting. Like and subscribe and all that. Bye!